This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Shrishti, you are from Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
So you at present, where are you speaking from?
Sir, currently I live in Bangalore. My husband is posted here. I mean, he's working in a private sector, so we are living here currently.
I see. But originally you come from Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
I see. So you had sociology as a subject, and then electronics and communication engineering you have done in 2015. And what did you do after that, 2015? So
Sir,
you did some job. Till April 2022, you did some job, and after that you have left.
Yes, sir.
So what are you doing now?
Sir, after the job, I am again preparing for civil services full time. And sir, I'm also taking up new skills and developing new hobbies, sir, and taking on the roles and responsibilities of the newly married life.
Okay, that's good. Since you come from Jharkhand, I'm tempted to ask you something about resource curse. Do you think Jharkhand has undergone resource curse, or it has been able to defeat it?
Sir, it is facing resource curse in a way because despite being a house of 40% of the India's minerals, it is still counted in below, like it's on the bottom 3 in the Human Developmental Index. That happens because when the main focus just goes on mining the minerals, and the alternative job opportunities are sometimes not explored much. But sir, now these things are identified, and now because of the political stability, many schemes are introduced by government. Many industrial policies, tourism policies, all these policies are introduced, and I am hopeful that sir, in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be able to see the results.
Okay. If there had been diamond or gold in Jharkhand, do you think the resource curse would have been more severe, or it would have been just like this?
Sir, from what I understand, if again only the mining would have happened and no refinery processing or any processing industries would have set up, then I think the similar issue would have prevailed, sir.
Gold and diamond. Minor processing, it doesn't take place it takes place only a few centers in the world.
Yes, sir.
You can't correlate?
I can't, sir. I think there are some gold mines in Jharkhand also near the Suvarnrekha river.
Gold you can't take away like you can take diamond and gold. Don't you think mine mafias would have come? Gold mafia is nothing against in comparison to diamond mafia and gold mafia. It would have been much more worse, isn't it?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, you are a student. You are electronics and communication engineering. Suppose Hitler had been today. Do you think his propaganda machinery would have failed or would have succeeded more? So there is social media, there are all kind of things is there. So do you think he would have been able to sort of maximize on it, or he would have been handicapped?
Sir, I think Hitler would have used social media to maximize his own propaganda, but at the same time, social media is such an amplifier platform that he would have gotten the same or maybe more response back from people across the world, sir. And also, sir, the demonstration effect of social media, people would be able to see the pictures of how inhumanely the Jews were treated, and I think that would have a much wider impact on the world.
So how do you weigh the two? Had he been more successful or less successful in brainwashing people?
I think, sir, it would have been less successful, sir. The
Less
same
successful,
thing,
oh.
yes, sir.
You worked in orphanage project.
Yes, sir.
What did you do there?
Sir, I was head of the orphanage project. So I managed a group of around 12 volunteers who used to visit the one of the orphanages that were near to my college. And there we used to take complementary classes in English and mathematics. We used to also arrange extracurricular activities and career camps for the kids.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, you're basically watching NGOs.
Yes, sir.
But there has been there has been a feeling that governments have not been successful in many of these kind of welfare activities, because the government servants, they don't feel very empathic about it, and they generally sort of ignore their duties, and that is why NGOs came. Even international organizations started giving money to NGOs. But don't you think there has been a trend in India to discourage NGOs?
Sir, NGOs are of two types. One, which can be considered as the promoter of rights. Those kind of NGOs which promote education, which promote health, those are definitely given all the possible help to grow and contribute to the society. The other type of NGOs are the inhibitors, which inhibit the developmental activities, the welfareist policies, and the unnecessary protests. So such type of NGOs has to be regulated and put at its place, sir. So that is why there are stringent regulations to ensure that such NGOs do not create menace in our society.
So you were born on a very prominent day, which is celebrated as
The World AIDS Day.
AIDS Day. So what is the condition of or the status of AIDS in India?
Sir, currently India is having the third largest AIDS population in the world. But sir, the programs that India has introduced, the elimination of AIDS by 2024 and the test and treat strategy, all this is able to identify the patients and target them so that the disease burden could reduce.
We are in the third place for sure.
So last that I checked, we were at third place only.
And what is Project Sunrise?
I'm not aware of it, sir.
Acha, what is the difference between, I'm asking from the very layman terms, explain to me as a 6th class student, that what is the difference between AIDS and why is it called HIV and what is the process? What happens actually?
So HIV is the name of the virus, human immunodeficiency virus, that causes this disease of AIDS,
Which
acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
Okay.
HIV is the virus and the disease name is AIDS.
And is it curable?
No, sir, it is not still curable. It could be suppressed, but I think it's not fully curable as of now.
Okay. So you are from Jharkhand, and Jharkhand is known as a tribal state largely.
Yes, sir.
You have heard what is tribal punchil?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
The tribal punchil says that the state should not force tribal people to assimilate or either to remain completely isolated. The government should provide positively with all the schemes and measures and let them integrate to the mainstream society in their own merit and in their own way, sir. This is the gist of the punchil.
Okay. And what is minor forest produce?
Minor forest produce are non-timber produces that we can get from the forest, like honey, lac, tendu leaves.
Anything non-timber is minor forest produce.
Yes, sir.
And what is the government, which initiative deals with value addition to the MFP, minor forest produce?
Sir, one scheme that is introduced is Vandhan Yojana, wherein SHGs are formed so that these minor forest produce can have value additions and tribals can earn. Second is, sir, MSP for MFP, a minimum support price for the minor forest produce.
Very good.
So that can get a good remuneration for the tribals.
Also, dry food. Have you heard of the term?
Dry food, sir?
Dry food.
Dry food, yes, sir. It's a initiative by Ministry of Tribal Affairs to sell the products.
And which other ministry is involved, as the name itself suggests?
The Ministry of Tribal Affairs.
And
Ministry of Panchayati Raj.
Okay, no guesswork. Ministry of Food Processing.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
so talking about sociology, how do you think that the status, to what extent do you think that the status of women, which they have in the society, so women are the ones who are to be blamed for that?
So to what extent women should be blamed for that?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, there is a concept of internalization of patriarchy. So women themselves internalize that the concept of patriarchy when they start to treat other women with contempt. So that is the reason that it is said that sometimes women become the major enemy of another woman. But sir, I see that this also happens because in a system like patriarchy, sometimes some women feel that in order to survive there, they should become a part of that kind of thought process so that they themselves can secure their position. So the underlying fact is again patriarchy, which is changing the mindset of women also. Sir.
Okay, and what is the solution? Give one big bang solution for that. How we can overcome it?
Sir, I think the solution would be long drawn and small steps only, sir, because this is a
Give
mindset
me
issue.
one solution which you think which will be the most impactful solution.
Sir, it should be like a social movement only, continuous information and making them realize that they are equal to men. And in order to raise in society, it doesn't mean that you have to pull others down. So this kind of uh, thought process has to be inculcated in education system, in family, everywhere, sir.
Okay, okay.
So, Srishti, you come from Jharkhand. Normally, it is said that in tribal societies, there is a sense of gender equality, wherein women are also given important roles, whether it is related to the personal affairs of the family or the professional front, right? So, what do you think? Is it really true? Or or is the status of women in tribal society the same as the other parts?
Sir, it is not same. It is still better than other parts because of the fact that, sir, you pointed out that there is gender equality. They contribute together in works. There are matrilineal societies in tribals in northeastern or in Kerala state that we can see. Uh, so it is like, sir, even in tribal societies also the gender equality is not 1:1 I would say, but it is still better than the non-tribal societies, sir. The sex ratio is better, so to speak.
Okay, fine. So, Srishti, in Jharkhand, uh, recently Jharkhand government has been taking a lot of welfare measures, right? Whether they have introduced a scholarship for overseas education of students, and they have also announced the old pension scheme for the employees of the state government. So, what is your understanding how these welfare measures are going to impact the government, impact the people? Because some of these policies are going to be a financial burden on the state government also.
Sir, state is welfaric and it has the responsibility of taking care of its citizens. Especially in the state of Jharkhand, where there are so many people whose capabilities has to be increased. So welfare programs like scholarships actually enables a person to improve their capability so that they can contribute positively in the economy. However, sir, welfare measures also has to be sustainable. So if any unsustainable practices which continuously keeps on adding to the financial burden, so such kind of welfare schemes are is a challenge on the state.
Hmm.
So those kind of schemes has to be audited and it should be ensured that they are slowly phased out.
Okay, okay. One last question, Srishti. Uh, if we compare Ranchi with other parts of Jharkhand, do you think the level of development is equitable in other parts of Jharkhand, or a lot still needs to be done?
Sir, Ranchi is one of the most developed district in Jharkhand. In fact, the districts around Ranchi like Dhanbad, Bokaro, these are well developed compared to other districts. So, sir, mostly because in many districts there are those are in hilly regions and covered by forests. So, introducing many developmental projects also becomes a challenge there. So there a different kind of developmental policies has to be introduced, like mobile medical units for healthcare can be introduced, or the community people from the tribal population itself, they could be trained so that various government schemes could reach out there. So there the policy would be different than what it could be implemented in Ranchi.
Okay. You were assistant manager in Invest India.
Yes, sir.
So do you think, if I say a statement for management that making simple things difficult is the purpose of management, do you agree?
I do not agree with that, sir, because management itself means managing things. It enables us to categorize things properly and put it into different baskets so that it could be analyzed in a different sense, and a proper sense of the sense of a whole can be made, sir.
Okay. Making decorative greeting cards is one of your hobbies. How many greeting cards have you made until this day?
Sir, I think starting from the time when I started making it when I was around 12 years old, I think it is more than 50 greeting cards, sir.
From 12 years old until now, you have just made 50 greeting cards.
Yes, sir. So because for each greeting card, I spend at least 3 to 4 months,
Okay.
because it's very personalized and it's very decorative. I put in all kind of efforts to make sure that when the person has it, they remember it forever. That's right, sir.
Sure. You see, you were also awarded with Prabhat Khabar, Pratibha Samman Puraskar.
Yes, sir.
So if I ask you a question about the recent media, do you think that the present media is turning from hawkish eagles to screeching parrots?
Sir, if by screeching parrots, it means that they are making more noise than any substantive impact. If that is what is implied, sir.
Yes. See, means they are being holded by someone and what they are speaking the language of others. They're not speaking what they are supposed to speak.
Sir, yes, sir, there is a concern that because of rise of corporatization of media, the business leaders acquiring media houses leads to somewhere conflict of interest. So the media sometimes they go towards sensationalization or media trials, and this is a challenge, sir.
Do you think this is one of the threats for a vibrant democracy?
It is, sir, because media is an amplifying platform. Whatever they speak or whatever they show, it reaches to a large number of people, and therefore they have a responsibility that whatever they speak, they should be backed by truth.
Okay, my last question. Consider you have been made the Honorable Prime Minister of India for one day. What 3 changes will you bring?
In the policy sphere, sir, right?
It's your discretion. You choose.
Okay.
Those 3 areas which India needs the most.
Sir, can I take a few moments to gather my thoughts?
Sure.
Sir, I could think of one thing. I would bring agriculture into the concurrent list.
Why so?
Sir, because central government is already providing a lot in the agriculture sector, and in order to ensure that the productivity and efficiency could be managed across the country, so the government has to have a say in that, sir. So that
Don't
is
you
why.
think electoral reforms is one of the most necessitated modification that India needs right now?
Yes, sir. I couldn't think of anything more.
Okay,
Is
no
right.
issue. Thank you.